Breakout Streamer of the Year went to Adapt, and congratulations, and we respect you for what you did. But Rakai should have won Breakout Streamer of the Year and DDG. I don't care what y'all say. Shout out Rakai and shout out blah, 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 blah.
Rakai, question.
Yo.
What's the coolest thing you've ever stolen?
The Streamer Awards are supposed to be one of the few moments every year where the entire streaming world comes together, celebrates wins, laughs at inside jokes, and puts the constant drama on pause. Instead, this year's Streamer Awards somehow managed to turn into one of the most awkward, chaotic, and controversial events the community has seen in a long time. What should have been a celebration of creators turned into a mix of stage crashes, forced jokes, fake outrage, cultural misunderstandings, and non-stop backlash that overshadowed almost every award handed out that night. And the craziest part is that none of this happened because of one single mistake. It was a chain reaction. One moment fed into the next, egos got involved, people started reacting emotionally instead of logically, and by the end of the night, the conversation wasn't about who won Streamer of the Year, it was about who embarrassed themselves the most. Before getting into the drama, it's important to understand what the Streamer Awards actually are. This is an event created and hosted by QT Cinderella, built mainly around Twitch culture. It's always leaned into awkward humor, banter, and slightly uncomfortable jokes. If you've watched previous years, you know the vibe. It's not meant to be polished like the Oscars, it's meant to feel like streamers roasting each other in real life. The problem is that this year, the audience and the guest list were very different. The event has gotten much bigger, and with that growth came creators who don't come from that same Twitch culture. Different communities, different humor, different expectations, and when you mix those worlds without adjusting the tone, things are bound to go wrong. The first major moment that set everything off was the Breakout Streamer of the Year award. FaZe Adapt ended up winning, which on its own shouldn't have been controversial.
And the Streamer Award goes to Adapt.
Whether you think Rakai or DDG deserved it more, Adapt had a strong year and a legitimate case. But instead of letting the moment pass, India Love decided to turn it into something else entirely.
I know Breakout Streamer of the Year went to Adapt. And congratulations, and we respect you for what you did. But Rakai should have won Breakout Streamer of the Year and DDG. I don't care what y'all say. Shout out Rakai and shout out blah, 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 blah.
What should have been a celebratory moment became uncomfortable, confusing, and embarrassing. The issue wasn't just that she disagreed with the outcome, it was how she did it. Award shows don't work like that. You don't storm the stage because your favorite didn't win. That doesn't make you brave, real, or iconic. It makes you disruptive. And worse, it put Rakai and DDG in an awkward position they never asked to be in. Neither of them needed someone crashing an event on their behalf, especially when they themselves handled the loss far more maturely. India Love later tried to frame it as a necessary moment, almost like a protest, but the reaction said everything.
It was not like that. I was just, for the people. Like, I was feeling how he was feeling, and the people in the crowd. Yeah. I feel like everybody thought it was going to be Rakai or DDG.
She was booed, escorted out, and turned into the main joke of the night. Instead of uplifting anyone, she managed to discredit the award, disrespect the winner, and make the entire show harder to manage for the people actually running it. And that wasn't even the end of it. Afterwards, she doubled down on stream, acting like she had just pulled a Kanye West moment. The difference is Kanye did that at the biggest award show in the world, and even that moment is still widely criticized. Doing it at a streamer award show doesn't make it legendary, it just makes it messy. As bad as that moment was, it somehow wasn't the most talked about controversy of the night. That honor goes to the joke segment, specifically the jokes aimed at Kai Cenat.
So, congrats on your new documentary with 50 Cent. That was you, right?
During the show, FanFan made several jokes, including comparing Kai to Diddy and referencing his streaming university in a way that didn't land well. Now let's be clear, the delivery of the jokes was awkward, the timing was off, and the room went silent in a way that no comedian ever wants. Tylo, who is close to Kai, took it upon himself to call out FanFan in the middle of the event, essentially stopping the show to say that if you're going to make jokes, at least make them funny.
If you all gonna be on the mic, now turn this mic, now turn it on, turn it on. If you all gonna be on the mic making jokes, at least let it be funny.
While his frustration might have been understandable, the execution was terrible. Interrupting the event again only added to the chaos. It became another example of someone making the show about themselves instead of handling it privately or afterward. What made Tylo's outrage harder for people to take seriously is the context. Kai has been compared to Diddy countless times by his own friends, by celebrities, by his own mother, and even by Kai himself on stream. These jokes didn't suddenly become offensive overnight, so when Tylo chose this specific moment to explode, many people saw it as selective outrage rather than genuine concern. That perception only got worse when people started pointing out that Tylil didn't have the same energy for anyone else who made similar jokes in Kai's own space. It created the impression that Fan was an easy target while others got a pass. Then things took an even darker turn when another streamer claimed that one of Kai's friends was making violent and disturbing comments about Fan during an intermission.
Oh, true story. I don't know if I should tell you this or not. So I'm in the middle, right? And I see them down there, and I hear the guy take the mic about, if you're gonna tell a joke, at least make it funny. I didn't even get the joke or whatever. And then we went to an intermission. I go down, you know, I go down to the bathroom. As I walk in the bathroom, I hear somebody come in and go, "Yo, f that bitch, man, f that bitch. I'll fucking toss that bitch. Well, I'll fucking knock her fucking teeth out. How's she gonna suck with no teeth?"
Allegedly, this happened in a bathroom off mic and involved threats that went way beyond jokes or frustration. Whether or not every detail of that story is true, the fact that it was even believable says a lot. The friend in question already had a reputation for crashing out on stream, losing control, and escalating situations unnecessarily. That history made it harder for people to dismiss the claims outright. When the friend responded, he mostly rambled, denied the worst parts, and justified his behavior by saying he was from New York.
And I was coming out of the bathroom, and I was like, "Yo, man, are you okay? Like, you good?" And he looked at me like this, and his friend goes, "Ah, man, he's just from New York."
Being from New York isn't an excuse to threaten people or talk recklessly. If anything, that response reinforced the idea that emotions were running way too high over something that never needed to get this serious.
There's people in this world that probably let that joke slide on they significant others and they loved ones. Not us. Not us. It's not funny. It's not fucking funny. Somebody's facing real charges, and it's victims about that over there. You hear me? It's like, it's real victims. It's victims to homie over there y'all playing with them jokes with.
Meanwhile, QT Cinderella found herself at the center of another controversy involving a joke she made toward Rakai about stealing.
Rakai? Question.
Yo.
What's the coolest thing you've ever stolen?
People online, many of whom clearly didn't know the context, immediately jumped to calling the joke racist. In reality, Rakai had previously been banned for stealing on stream, and the joke was directly referencing that incident. QT later clarified this, explaining that everyone in the room understood the reference, but the audience watching online didn't. And this might be the most important lesson from the entire event. The streamer awards are no longer just for the room. They're for the internet. And jokes that rely on niche context will get misinterpreted when millions of people who aren't tapped in are watching. Rakai himself didn't help the situation. After the show, he went on stream and went off on QT Cinderella, insulting her and the production while ignoring the fact that he was invited despite being banned on Twitch.
Just kept talking, man. Like, feel me, bro. Like, this show, you feel me? But nah, though.
That invitation alone was a courtesy. Instead of appreciating it, he turned it into another rant. The excuse that he's young doesn't work anymore. At a certain point, accountability matters. If you steal on stream, get banned, and still get invited to a major event, you can't be shocked when jokes are made. Being 17 doesn't mean you're immune to criticism, especially when you're operating at the highest level of streaming. Even Rakai's own mother had to step in, forcing him to move back home and calling out his behavior.
That is not how you carry yourself. That is not how you talk to a woman, first of all. I raised you way better than that. So guess what? Your ass is coming home since you think you're grown.
Whether that moment was real or played up for content, the message was clear. He crossed a line and someone had to check him. Eventually, India Love did apologize, admitting that she was under the influence and that her behavior was unnecessary.
I want to apologize to QT. QT. What I did, first of all, I appreciate that you inviting me, and there's no excuse for my behavior. It was very distasteful. It was very, like I keep saying, unnecessary. It was my initial emotion response, and that, again, I had no business being on that stage. You know, as a person and who I am as a person, and I have to stop disappointing myself by repeating mistakes and keep repeating a cycle that's obviously not good for me. And I watched something that said, like, your mistakes could either be a coffin or a classroom, and you know it could either teach you, or it could be the thing that takes you under and kills you, or like, you know. And I'm a work in progress every day.
That apology came late, but it was still needed. By that point though, the damage was done. Her moment had already become one of the defining memories of the event. There was also a situation involving Tyleo that unfolded after the Streamer Awards and added to the growing controversy surrounding the event. In the days following the show, accusations surfaced against him regarding an after-party encounter. Tyleo publicly denied the claims, stating that the interaction was consensual and later pointing to messages he shared, including a Zella payment request.
Jordan, I try to blackmail you, Jordan. 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 And I try to blackmail her. She's trying to extort me, gang. She's blackmailing me. On December 8th at 12:01, this is in the noon, Jordan sent me a upside down smiling face. After she sent the upside down smiling face, she sent the Zelle request. Let me show y'all. Follow me, chat. Are y'all following the timeline? Because I'm only gonna come up here one time and say this. After she sends the Zelle request, she realized I was not paying it. Once Jordan realized I was not paying it, Jordan sent me this. You see this meme right here? Me giving him his last warning before I show him who I really am. Let me make it bigger for y'all since y'all can't read. Boom. My next live will be us back to regular program.
He explained that legal counsel had been involved and that he would not be addressing the matter in full online. While the details remained disputed and unresolved, the situation further shifted attention away from the awards themselves and into ongoing drama tied to the event's aftermath. When you zoom out and look at the full picture, the Streamer Awards didn't fail because of one bad joke or one bad decision. They failed because too many people forgot what the event was supposed to be. It wasn't a battleground for ego, it wasn't a place to settle personal feelings in real time, and it definitely wasn't the place to crash out emotionally in front of millions of viewers. Despite everything, the event wasn't completely terrible. Many of the winners deserved their awards. The production itself wasn't a failure. QT Cinderella handled an impossible situation the best she could in real time, but the drama swallowed the celebration, and that's the real tragedy. If the Streamer Awards want to keep growing, changes have to happen, clearer boundaries, better moderation, adjusted humor for a broader audience, and most importantly, creators need to learn when to react and when to stay quiet. Because this year proved one thing very clearly: when streamers bring stream behavior into real-world events without restraint, things fall apart fast.